Hi, boys and girls. It's Mrs. Smiley. Happy Thanksgiving. I wanted to share a Thanksgiving story with you, and it's by a lady. The author is named Eve Bunting, and she's written some really great books. And this one is called A Turkey for Thanksgiving, and it's kind of funny, and there's a fun little twist to the story. So listen carefully and see if you can figure out what the little surprise is, okay? All right, now put your listening ears on. I got my glasses. Here we go. Eve Bunting, A Turkey for Thanksgiving, illustrations by Diane DeGroat. It has some really nice pictures for Thanksgiving too. Okay. I want you to see the picture so you can see this amazing setting. Now, do you think this is going to be a fiction or nonfiction book? We have animals wearing clothes, living in a house. So it looks like a fiction story to me. Phony baloney fiction or fun fiction. It was Thanksgiving morning, and Mr. Moose helped Mrs. Moose set the Thanksgiving table. Sheep will sit here. He likes a chair that's straight up and down. Mr. Moose said, Rabbit here, Porcupine here, Mr. and Mrs. Goat here. He smiled at his wife. Isn't it nice to have friends to share Thanksgiving? Mrs. Moose set 2 paper pilgrims, one at each end of the table. She placed the paper turkey with its great fan of a tail between the candles and stood back. Oh, they look good, my dear, Mr. Moose said. Mrs. Moose sighed. Yes, but I wish we had a real turkey. Everyone always has a turkey for Thanksgiving. Everyone but us. Mr. Moose nuzzled Mrs. Moose's head. Well, that won't do. I will go this minute and find you a turkey for Thanksgiving. Mr. Moose put on his cap and he went out. Mist wandered through the bare trees. The cold made his nose water. Rabbit poked his head from his rabbit hole. Mr. Moose, is it dinner time? Not quite yet. Mrs. Moose wants a turkey. I'm off to find one. Rabbit joined him in 3 quick hops. I'll come too. Now do you see Rabbit? There's Mr. Moose. Moose's warm breath hung white in front of him. Snow crunched under his hooves and made little holes that Rabbit jumped over. I see the goats, Rabbit said. Mr. Goat raised his head and spat out the tin can he was chewing. Is it dinner time? He called. Not until I find a turkey, said Mr. Moose. We saw one down by the river, Mrs. Goat called to him, and Mr. Goat added, a fat one. There's the goat's house. The goats leaped down from their front perch. We'll show you. Sheep was farther up the hillside, looking round as a fur ball in his winter coat. Is it dinner time? He bellowed. First, I have to find a turkey, Mr. Moose bellowed back. There's a turkey nest on the river bank, Sheep called. Wait for me. Oh, here is Sheep. So look, they're all going to look for a turkey, aren't they? The earth smelled of ice and moss as they crunched along. Above them a crow hung, black as a puff of wood smoke. Porcupine was hiding in the underbrush. It's you, he said, and put his quills down. We're off to get a turkey for Mrs. Moose, Mr. Moose explained. Do you want to come? I'm slow, Porcupine said. Pick me up on your way back. Who would want to pick you up? Sheep asked and laughed his bleat of a laugh. I'll wait, Porcupine told Mr. Moose. I didn't know porcupines were slow. They saw Turkey's nest right away and Turkey himself peering over the top of it. Turkey, Turkey, Mr. Moose called in his sweetest voice. Oh, Turkey blundered from his nest and ran. Mr. Moose lumbered after him. Turkey, don't run. We just want you for Thanksgiving dinner. Turkey just ran faster. Now these signs say, do not disturb. Come back after Thanksgiving. No turkey here. What do you think Turkey's afraid of? He's afraid of what most turkeys are afraid of for Thanksgiving. Mr. Moose saw the red and blue sheen of Turkey's neck. Turkey's tail brushed crumbs of snow behind him as he tried to fly. "Too fat," said Mrs. Goat. Turkey's legs bent in the middle as he fell. Mr. Moose put a booted hoof on his head and smiled his great toothy grin. "I hope you don't have other plans for Thanksgiving, Turkey." Oh, this doesn't look too good, does it? Poor Turkey. He helped Turkey up. "My wife won't mind that you're too fat," he said. "Let's go. It's getting close to dinner time." They marched Turkey in the front. "I'm sorry about this, for I can see that you don't want to come," Mr. Moose said, "but I must insist. A promise is a promise." Now, who did he make that promise to? Do you remember? Promised his wife he'd get a turkey, didn't he? Mrs. Moose. There was a wreath of dried fruit on the moose's door. Inside, the house was filled with Thanksgiving smells. Mr. Moose hid Turkey behind him. "Look who I brought, Mrs. Moose," he said. "Sheep, the goats, rabbit, and porcupine, and ta-da!" He pushed Turkey around in front of him. "For you, a turkey for Thanksgiving." Look at him. There he is. They all look pretty excited except for Turkey. Mrs. Moose clapped her hooves. "I'm so happy to have you, Turkey." "Thank you, Mr. Moose. Now everything is perfect." "Shall we sit?" Sheep asked, heading for the straight up and down chair. "Let's." Mrs. Moose pointed. "Rabbit here, porcupine here, Mr. and Mrs. Goat here. And look, I brought a chair from the other room in hopes of Turkey." A chair?" Turkey stammered. "Right next to me," Mrs. Moose said. "Light the candles, Mr. Moose." Now, wait a minute. If they're giving him a chair to sit in, do you think they're going to eat him? There were bowls of acorns and alfalfa sprouts, dried since summer. There was willow bark and cured grasses and wild parsley. There were pressed leaves, thin and pale as the new ice on the pond. "I hope you find something to your liking, Mr. Turkey," said Mrs. Moose. "I really wasn't sure of your taste." "You are so kind to worry about my taste," Turkey said. "I thought you'd be worrying about how I taste." "Heavens, no!" Mr. Moose smiled a big toothy smile and filled everyone's cup with cold spring water. "It's so nice to have friends around the table at Thanksgiving." Turkey's wattles wobbled. "It's even nicer to be at your table and not on it," he said. "Happy Thanksgiving, everybody." Happy Thanksgiving, Turkey. Did you find out what the surprise was at the end of the story? Mrs. Moose wanted a turkey for Thanksgiving, but she wanted the turkey to come as a guest, not to eat the turkey. And poor Turkey was so scared because he thought for sure that they wanted to eat him. But they didn't want to eat him. They just wanted to invite him to share their special Thanksgiving with them as a friend. So that was a very nice Thanksgiving story. It says a turkey for Thanksgiving. I hope you enjoyed it, boys and girls. Take some time to draw me a picture. There's lots of fun characters in the story that you could draw. You could do Mr. and Mrs. Moose. You could do sheep. You could do the goats. You could do the porcupine. You could do rabbit. And of course, you could do turkey, right? And then you can draw the house and show the setting, how Mrs. Moose had it all decorated and the table ready. Or you could do an outside picture showing them when they were all looking for turkey. One of my favorite pictures in this book, I have lots of favorite pictures in this book, but one that I really liked was when it shows them finding turkey. And here he is by the pond, and there's all these signs sticking up, pretty much saying, "Go away, no turkey here," because he does not want anybody to find him, because most people want to find and get a turkey for Thanksgiving dinner, don't they? So draw me a nice picture, write some sentences about it and some words. You could label all the different animals in the picture. And if you have trouble writing your words, ask mommy or daddy or your teacher helper to sound them out for you, okay? And then take those pictures and have them take a picture on their phone and post them on our Google Classroom stream so everybody can see your amazing work, okay? Okay, thanks guys. Happy Thanksgiving.